The anticipated game Wayfinder release had been kind of a fiasco, despite being pushed by 2 days. But server crashes, server disconnection, super long queue, no grace period. So when you were disconnecting, you were back in the queue with the 20,000 players in front of you. Players were not happy, many have been asking refund, and Steam had been bad reviewed, bombed. So, not that great for Wayfinder. But is it a bad game? Hi everyone, I'm Elloa. Welcome for this new Rantosaurus video. Today I will be speaking about my first step in Wayfinder and what I think about the game. It's not a review of the game, but I'm just going to share my feeling about it. And my feelings are pretty good. I actually enjoy Wayfinder a lot. A few months ago, I've been discovering Wayfinder through the Twitter. I've been exploring it a little bit because the concepts were intriguing me. So for what I've taken at that time, that Wayfinder is a lobby game where you jump in with a few friends or by yourself to do some dungeon with pre-made hero that all had their own abilities and could equip any weapon you wanted. And beside having a beautiful, gorgeous city as the lobby station, you also had 2 zones to explore if you wanted. But actually the game is a lot better than what I anticipated. So I didn't have much expectation beside the fact that I thought, oh, it would be a nice little side game to do, because it's very different from Embers Adrift. Instead of having a long, slow-paced journey in a realistic low fantasy world, here it's colorful, it's fast-paced, it's action-based, and you jump in directly into the dungeon. The dungeons are not very long, and you're just doing that as activities. But the Wayfinder is much more than that. First of all, it's gorgeous. It's really beautiful. A lot of people have been describing it as, oh, it makes me think of World of Warcraft, or it makes me think of Wildstar, but I find that Wayfinder, beside having a cartoony, colorful style, it is very much its own thing. It has a very defined artistic direction, and it is not just another random cartoony style. Now, if you really observe the landscape, there's a little bit more of wilderness and expression to it. I think it's almost like it makes me think of the Impressionist arts, actually. So when you see the tree specifically, you already see kind of movement into them. Maybe for you, you don't really care about the graphics, but for me, it's something that I find very important, and I'm very sensitive to the beauty of a game. And Wayfinder is really beautiful. It has gorgeous view, beautiful colors, really beautiful aesthetic. It has really impressed me. I didn't expect it to be so beautiful. What's also interesting is that it is kind of a mix between high fantasy and science fiction. So in the city you have this kind of mix between neon styled inn and shops and stuff like that, while also have this kind of medieval style. So it is really nice. I really like it. I think it's kind of exciting. The second good surprise is the story. Actually, the story of Wayfinder is much deeper than I anticipated. It's not as generic as it can seem when you first tackle into the game. There's actually a lot of quests and lore and little books that you can read, which is kind of surprising. I was really not expecting that. I've done a very cute quest, and I was so much into the quest. It was very much a back and forth quest between 2 characters that were in a sort of dispute, husband and his husband, well, a couple of husbands, and it was a very touching quest, and I was really excited to know the conclusion of the quest. So I did it all in one shot, so jump between zones, but it was good, and I was not expecting that kind of things. I thought really the lore would just be an excuse for you to jump into dungeon, and that was it. But actually there is something about it. There's characters, there's plots, there's factions, and there's deeper lore, it seems, that you can explore. So quite nice on that part. And lastly, the gameplay is pretty fun. It's very straightforward. It's really cool. You jump into those dungeons. It's always different. So it is procedurally generated, so it will always be a different layout. There's quite some variety in the layout. I've been surprised to discover after 10 dungeon a new room that I have never got during my exploration, so that's pretty nice. The loot and the equipment system is a little bit complicated. I find that you need some times to get into it and to understand, and I've not fully understand it yet, so I think it might become a little repetitive if you're playing this game intensively every day. I'm not intending to do that, so I don't think it will cause a problem for me, but I could foresee that it might, despite all the change and despite the fact that the dungeons are randomly generated, you may find that you're doing always the same thing if you play a lot, but they will probably also add more content and more stuff to it, so who knows. And I have no idea of how the end game happen. It might be very exciting as well. I have no idea of how that goes. And surprise, you have some housing. Actually, I didn't expect that. You have a very nice little room that is offered to you really right at the start of the game that you can decorate, and you can find some recipe to craft new furniture to decorate your home more. So that's kind of a nice little touch that I was not expecting at all. So overall, I think Wayfinder is pretty nice. I've been playing it with friends, I've been playing it by myself. I think there's a nice sense of progression, a lot of things to discover. The game is deeper than it's being sold to you, which is quite nice because yeah, it's nice to have a happy surprise and to see, oh my god, there's more to this game than I thought it was, which is usually rare. In general, it's the other way around it happened. So pretty good first impression, actually. So I think it's worth your €17 or $20. It's worth a try, really, I promise you. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so very much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. You take care of yourself, and I will see you soon. Bye!